so it should be fun to go through together. You just ruined my video!
Can you put that in the blooper?
No.
Please?
Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. This week I'm going to be making no-bake cheesecakes. So I found this recipe online. I will add the ingredients and the steps over so you can screenshot it now. But for these ones, since it is Easter weekend, I decided to add some mini eggs. So I just added some crushed mini eggs into the filling, and then I added some on top as well. This is the first time I've made a no-bake cheesecake, and I've tasted it, and it is a lot fluffier than a normal cheesecake that you would be baking. As well, the crust is a little bit more crumbly than I would find, but nonetheless, it was delicious. It just does take some time to chill, so you do have to be a bit patient with this one. I also only used just about half the recipe, just because there's only 2 of us. I didn't want to make too many. I do have these little spring-form pans, so this just pops out right at the bottom. I got it like 6 in a set from Amazon for I think like 20 bucks. But yeah, these are perfect. Using half the recipe, I made about 4 of these, so that was good enough for the 2 of us. So if you want to make these no-bake cheesecakes with me, then keep on watching. Starting off here by making my graham cracker crust. So I've already taken some digestive cookies and I've just put them in a blender. You can use a food processor as well. I'm just using a bit under a cup. I'm just gonna go ahead and start by adding that to my bowl. Adding just a little bit of sugar. This calls for about 1/8 of a cup. This is just 1/4. We're gonna cut down on the sugar a little bit. Hopefully that should be fine. And about 1/4 cup of butter, just to make sure that everything here combines and sticks well. Give that a mix. Just want to make sure everything comes together so the crust doesn't fall apart. For this one, we won't be baking it either. We are just going to be freezing it. So hopefully this sticks really nice. Now I'm just going to get my little trays here. So I'm just gonna put my crust into each of these. I think we'll make 4, that's probably a good amount. I'll actually measure this out. So I'll put about 1/4 cup in each, just to make sure it's all even. And then I'm just gonna use the bottom of a cup here, so whatever fits nicely. I'm just gonna press this firmly so I can make sure it's nice and flat. Just like that. And just repeat for every single one of them. So now that these are all filled, I'm gonna pop them in the freezer while we make the cheesecake filling. So I am gonna start by adding in my full whipping cream here. So it is a cup. So this whole thing. And let's pop that in. We're gonna start doing our whip here. And this will be part of the fluffiness in the cheesecake. So get this going on medium until it has stiff peaks. It's only been 2 minutes so far and you can already see how fluffy this is getting. Check this out. So super thick, beyond stiff peaks, but I think this is fine. Just gonna get a spatula and check it out. So really nice and fluffy. So I'm just gonna transfer this over to another bowl while we start the cream cheese, and then we will fold everything in together. I'm also going to switch over to a paddle attachment. So I have some cute like block cream cheese here. This is a 45% less fat. Hopefully that is fine and won't cause any trouble. But you know, first time I'm doing this, hopefully all goes well, we'll see. This is also supposed to be at room temp, so it'll nicely blend up together. So pop that in. And then we're gonna add about a cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna add a little bit less because this recipe actually calls for 3 blocks of that cheese. So I'm gonna try and third it. So maybe like that much. Totally winging this. And I've already measured out my vanilla and it is about half a teaspoon. I always add a little bit more for that. And I'll go ahead and get this going. I'm just turning it up a little bit to get everything nicely incorporated. So it's nice and fluffy. Now I'm actually going to add in some mini eggs. So I want to make this an Easter themed cheesecake. So I already have some crushed ones here in this bag. And I'll just toss them all in here. Okay, perfect. So let's check this out. And scrape down the bowl, just making sure everything is still nicely mixed even from the bottom. And this is where we need to fold in our whipping cream. So we have to be really careful with this because you don't want to deflate it too much. It should be nice and fluffy. And we will just start folding in our whipped cream. I guess I'll go a bit at a time. Be pretty gentle with it, but just making sure everything is incorporated. And then the remaining half throw in here. Nice, it's gotten a lot lighter. So the cream cheese mixture was pretty thick. The whipped cream has really smoothed out the consistency. It smells so good, and I'm excited for these mini eggs in here too. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my crusts out of the freezer and we're gonna start filling some. So I'll use a spoon for this and just spread it nice and evenly. I'm gonna make 2 with just this cream cheese filling, and then I'm gonna make another one with peanut butter for Deep. Because I don't want peanut butter and he wants a nice peanut butter cheesecake, so that should be really nice. So for the peanut butter, so just the remainder of the filling, I'm just gonna add blob of peanut butter. This is natural, so it's like super sticky. Like smooth Kraft peanut butter would be really nice. But this is what we have. And I'll try and just carefully fold that in. Okay, and now for the peanut butter. Now we have our 4 little mini cheesecakes done. I'm just gonna sprinkle a few more crushed mini eggs, just for some decoration. Now I'm just gonna pop these into the freezer to cool for a few hours. Maybe I'll put them in the fridge after an hour or so that they just completely chill there. You can chill for, the recipe says, for about 4 hours or overnight. So these should be good for dinner time. So I ended up letting these sit overnight. So we're gonna pop them out. I just have a serrated knife here and I run it under some warm water. And I have the 2 here, 1 peanut butter and 1 regular. So popping my knife in here and just running it along the edges so it's easy to pop out. I popped out the other 2 yesterday just after about 7 hours and they were pretty good still too. They're probably still a bit more soft than I'd like them to be. I can definitely tell that these have set up a lot better, so I think I would recommend waiting overnight if you have the willpower. And make sure to go all the way down so I can like get through the crust as well. since we have the spring form pan here, I will just pop this up. So nice. Probably gonna smooth out the sides a little bit. But as well, I'll just take the knife and run it along the base here. And it's coming off pretty well. A little, oh, there we go. Okay. Nice. And there it is. It's definitely more firm than from just a 7-hour overnight. Definitely makes a huge difference actually. The crust is more firm, which is really nice. I'm sure it's gonna be really crunchy as well. I'm just gonna add a few more mini eggs on top because you can't have enough mini eggs on these. Nice. There you go. Okay, I've cut a little wedge here because I wanted to take some photos. Now we're gonna try this out. Nice, not crumbly, this is good. Really, really good. It's actually really nice and fluffy, so not so much like a normal cheesecake where you bake it, but so fluffy. Crust is really, really nice. And definitely better when chilled overnight, so be patient with this one. The mini eggs just make it so much better. Anyway, that's all for this week. I hope you guys all enjoy your Easter, and I will see you next time on the next bake along.